shall decide by a majority vote of its members the annual assignments of the members of the City Council. That's what you have before you at the moment.
Were you deleting the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, Michael? Is that part of your motion?
Deleting all.
We're deleting all of my wording and replacing it with the paragraph that he's submitting as the amendment.
Does everybody want some
It
quick
says
copies
everything
of this?
in a two-sentence.
I'm sorry.
Does everybody want quick photocopies of this?
That would be great.
That would be good.
Do you want me to put it on the overhead or just to make copies?
A copy would be helpful, thank you.
And maybe on the overhead for the public. Does anybody know how to put that thing down, other than Jennifer, who's leaving the room? Wait.
There's in front of Dave on the little screen.
Oh, on your screen.
Mr. Mayor, a point of information.
Yes.
What's the appropriate time to bring up other possible amendments?
Once this amendment's cleared off the floor.
Well, I think you can bring it just about any time.
You can.
No, not right now.
You can amend an amendment, but until the amendment is voted on, you cannot propose an amendment to a different part of the original bill. So you could propose an amendment to what Michael's doing right now, but the change that you want to make needs to wait until we have voted on his amendment.
So we can't stack amendments?
No.
Doesn't sound like.
Okay.
I'm glad these two are.
Yeah, and specifically, what the motion that's on the floor is a motion to substitute my amendment for his amendment. So that's a, once we get that taken care of, because I think it's pretty straightforward that this whole laundry list of Mosquito Control Board, RTC, Lodging Tax Advisory, and so on and so forth, that it's not appropriate to put all of those names in there. Earlier today, as we were discussing this, Councilmember Greenlee pointed out that it's not even clear that the Mosquito Control Board requires an elected member. Mm-hmm. And so there are people from certain jurisdictions which aren't elected members. And so by putting it in the code, we might get ourselves into sticky situations where we're trying to appoint somebody who's not necessarily the right person for it. And that's why I wanted to have a simple process.
You said simple, didn't you? Councilman Shoemaker.
Thank you for clarifying the amendment to the amendment. And Mr. Mayor, if you get this one right when you announce what we're voting on, I think we owe you an ice cream over at Papa's.
So far, I have them numbered. Thank you. Something's making noise. Okay, do we need additional time, council members, with the amendment, the language of the amendment? Councilman Shoemaker.
I would like to propose an amendment to the amendment to the amendment.
Okay.
Where it says in the first paragraph there, shall consist of the then elected mayor and 2 individual council members. I'd like to suggest the mayor pro tem and two other council members.
Do we have a second? Hearing no second, the amendment to the amendment dies.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Councilman Shoemaker. Councilman Shoemaker.
There you are.
Yes. The reason I didn't give you a second, even though that I do support what you wanted to do there with the amendment, is the fact that I would like to, once we get this amendment off the table, I would like to offer up another amendment to make the appointments have to be verified by the council as a whole. So I think that removing the mayor off the appointment committee would, you're already going to get another layer of accountability as far as the votes for the council at large.
Mayor? Certainly. And I don't see it as an issue of accountability as much as I see it as a conflict of interest or a violation of the separation of powers. This is a legislative function, and I didn't see that the mayor, as a representative of the administrative side of the House, had a role in this regard. However, I didn't gain any traction with that, so let's see what you've got to offer.
Okay, council, do you need additional time with the wording of the amendment? Okay, I've got a motion and a second to amend the Chapter 2.04.050 as you have in front of you now.
Section 1.
Section 1. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion that the committee assignments that are covered under this new amendment, I guess, do the best way to say it.
I've got language, if I could run by you.
Yeah, basically, I'd just like to have the council.
The
just
appointment
verify.
committee shall propose council committee assignments to council for council's ratification.
Yes.
That sounds pretty
Second.
simple.
So move.
Point of clarification,
Yes.
should that be by a majority vote?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah, that would be.
That's basically
we
what it
don't have-
says.
Motion, Mayor,
Okay.
we have a motion, but we don't have a
Second.
second.
I've got a motion and a second. Council discussion.
Could that be repeated, please?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Can you repeat
Could you
that?
repeat that?
Section 3, the new language would be, the, quote, appointment committee shall propose council committee assignments to council for council's ratification.
Mr. Mayor? Considering that the current code says annual assignments instead of just a committee assignments, I request, I think it might be appropriate, instead of just saying council, committee assignments, to say annual assignments. And request unanimous consent to substitute the word annual for committee.
For where?
On your proposed amendment.
What do you do for appointments that are by bylaw more than 1 year?
Yeah, I think that especially when you're going to have the appointment committee maybe meeting more than once a year.
Good point.
Leaving the language as is, I think, is okay.
See, there's an obvious objection, and I don't push it further. Right on. Okay.
Okay. So I've got a motion to amend Section 3 of Code Section 2.04.050. Section 3, Paul, I'm going to let you read it again.
Section 3, the quote, appointment committee, end quote, shall propose council committee assignments to council for council's ratification.
Any further council discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Can I steal that copy, please? Thank you. Okay, with that item done,